Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good news. We have closed a position for profit. We opened 3 new positions and we're getting an overhaul on this channel in terms of quality. We're getting a brand new mirrorless camera for just to use as a recording instead of a webcam, and a new preamp so the audio quality or the microphone quality should be way better. And yeah, let's get right into it. Nickel, NIC, this one we closed only for 2%, right? 107.5 was an opportunity on Friday. There was a huge sell order at 108. What happens on this stock typically is wherever it opens, give it plus 3 cents and there'll be a massive sell order there on just a typical day. So I didn't jump in front of it. I was thinking, look, let's be patient. This is a swing trade. We're not just going to close it out because of the little bit of green. You know, it kind of just resisted in the middle of nowhere. It really should have pushed to 110. But today was obviously going to be flat based on what happened in the US, which was basically nothing. So no surprises for the trading today. It's relatively flat. And I got it. I probably should have held for an extra day or two. I know, probably impatient, but it's not doing the move that we want. It's not giving the push that I want, at least. So abandoned it. Look, I need to make 0.08% profit per trade to break even after commissions. So, you know, trading at 103.5 and 104. What's that? 2.4? Yeah, 2.4%. And what's this? 2% at 104. Yeah, give or take. So, look, it's not the best trade in the world. It's not exciting. You're not going to make billions of this kind of trade, but it is what it is. You know, we opened up at least 3 new trades, so let's take a look at those. Actually, we'll start off with Sol, S-O-L, and not Solana. God, we don't touch that crypto shit, not here. Now, this might not make too much sense on the daily chart, but I'll have a look at a smaller time frame. But you guys can see there's a world of support around this level here at 42, in the sort of the 42, 43 level, I should say. And what we saw, I talked about SOL, I think, over the weekend or on Friday. The 1 hour chart probably looks a little bit better, but it was looking for a break above this level and then it dipped. Now, this was a sharp dip and this felt pretty unjustified. I'm not sure what caused this sort of 2.6%, 2.7% sell-off, but I was eyeing off 42.50 and that's what we got on the way up. So really happy with that. 42, and mind you, I mean, I'm probably 42.60 average, but really happy with the trade. And then, of course, the breakthrough VWAP was just the icing on the cake. Closing like this is brilliant, right? At round number 43, bang on, beautiful, just beautiful. You know, sitting at or below VWAP for the end of the day would be a little bit iffy. It'd be a little bit, you know, are we really going to make money on this trade? But closing above is fantastic. Now, my risk is going to be at the bottom of this candle, this daily candle, mind you. So 42.33 is when I'm going to start cutting, and I'm going to start cutting as it dips a little bit further. So probably around 42.20. So I'm going to give a little bit of extra room. So if we call it 42.60 average, so that's going to be less than 1%. That's going to be we're going to start cutting at 0.64%. I mean, this is tight. We're not even going to lose 1% on this day trade. On this swing trade. Now, there is a reason, obviously, we're holding so tight is because we're expecting upside momentum. We're expecting this to have bottomed out. Because if this goes below here, below today's level, I mean, are you really going to expect upwards momentum? No, not really. I mean, I'm not expecting it. It is what it is. You know, if it gaps down tomorrow, if it gaps down more than our stop, then so be it. But still, it'd have to gap down, you know, almost 2% overnight for something like that to happen. So it is what it is. Yeah, I think it's a great looking trade. You know, I mentioned this late last week. So, you know, targeting about 3% for 1% risk. Not even, let's call it 0.8, 0.75. That's all well and good. And then we got IPX as well. This one broke, came back down. Fantastic. 585 is the entry that we got. This one's just trading up nicely. Sure, after a puke, but the short-term momentum. If you want to do your little shitty Elliott waves, then that's on you. But it's quite simply just a pivot break. Lower time frames, 5 minutes. Came down, got it. It hit. What was this? It hit the open price. So it dipped down a little bit extra, whatever. Missed out on an extra 2 ticks for a perfect entry, but really happy once it wicked, catch 585. And yeah, it's beautiful. So got a starter, got an add-on. And yeah, just looks good. As long as it holds, again, it's probably going to be very tight. 585. Yeah, 2%, not even 2%, 1.75. But the upside on this, we'll see how much it goes when it breaks. And when it rallies, that's a 20% move above the previous previous high when it broke. That was a 20% move. Not necessarily targeting 20%. We're going to take it day by day. We're going to take a look at volume, see what happens on the break, and just take it day by day. This, as nice as it would be to target 18, 20% and retest these kinds of levels, especially when it started puking, I'm not for that. I'm about managing the risk and just seeing where it goes. So at the moment, looks fantastic. Riding the momentum, riding the break, and if it does fake out tomorrow, so be it. Closing if it goes below today's candle. Keep it really simple. Vulcan, looking sensational as well. There it is. Same sort of thing. So this trend line is an old one that I've drawn from a while ago. This was pointed out on Twitter as well, but I don't really respect this relative to this yellow trend line, right? More data points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comes back to retest for 6. I mean, that's if any trend line is going to hold, it's going to be one with so many data points to it. This one's got 2. And yeah, it just hit it now, but I would consider this a weak one. Plus, you already have momentum. So you've not only have you broken a long-term or a longer-term downtrend, right? It's bounced off support here, which is gorgeous, and it's now in the phase of reversing. So it's like, well, where does she go? The last time this broke down, reversed, it was quite nice. Now, I'm not saying history repeats itself, not at all. I'm just giving a frame of reference to what could potentially happen in the sort of more mid-term. But I'm not here for the mid-term. I'm here for the short-term. So this break is what got me interested. Sure, it hits, pulls back, and we got this on the pullback. We got it towards the end of the day. I've just been watching it. It stopped selling off, started going back up. So it was about 414, 415. I'll call it 415 average. And again, it ideally should hold both support, and I probably would give it a little bit of extra wick room below, right? So that's going to be $4 round number, but when $4 hits, it usually pulls back a little bit extra. I would start cutting this position. Probably, I haven't actually planned this one out yet. I think because I really want to get an add-on if tomorrow it does dip further, closer to like 404, 405. That'd be like an add-on. And then it'll be a heavier add-on than the starter position that we got. So it would be like a 2-3 piece trade as it comes off, as it comes down. Hopefully it comes down. And if it doesn't, fine. We got something to ride to the upside if it breaks. But let's assume that this position fails. There's some heavy selling or something like that. So we're going to look at like 5% off this starter position. But as it gets heavier and heavier, it's probably going to look more like 3.6% to the downside as this level, or it's probably going to be more like a range. It's going to be more like this. So you can see it's the bottom of this candle, and it's the sort of body of the candles beforehand with more sort of data points. And yeah, so looking for a bit wider risk here, but as a result of taking on more risk, the position size is going to be reduced. That is how I play this. So it's one thing, you can lose the same amount with a 2% loss and a 10% loss. The difference is the sizing of that loss, right? So these aren't all consistent, identical trade parcels. Don't make no mistake. So it's a small starter position. If it goes up, fantastic, we'll make something. If it comes off, fine, perfect. I want it to come off. Closer to $4, the better. It may dip into this zone just below 4, and that's perfectly 100% expected for my plan on this trade. And then, yeah, look, if it dips, maybe 390. I think 390 is where 100% I start cutting. From 390, maybe 387. So it's going to be a tight range. It's not all going to be cut out at once, but it'll be a cut. And that's all she wrote for that one. And then we got that's all for the new positions opened, but we're also eyeing off NEU. This is probably more of a investment idea, more of a mid-term, long-term, not something I would short-term at all. I just like it. I like it. It's ranging. It's just doing big ass range now. So the range is getting. Well, I mean, like, not saying that's exactly what's going to happen, but it's the bottom end of a bigger range. I like this idea. I'll keep an eye on it. Maybe it goes red tomorrow or something like that, and maybe I can pick some up in the maybe 12.50s or something like that. 12.50 to $13 I think would be reasonable for me to pick some up long term. And I'm not someone that does long term, but this I would take into consideration for sure. What have we got? ABB. This one I was kind of eyeing off. I'm in R-ing Aussie Broadband. This one's very slow, so this is more of a multi-week, maybe multi-month hold. So just something to eye off. I mean, this is pretty straightforward stuff. I mean, I'm not a fan of these trend lines, but more, you guys know, I'm more into these. Oops, I'm more into these pivots here. It breaks, probably pulls back, 550, 545s, goes again. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I might pick this up on any kind of pullback. So, you know, it's just broken out, but it's quite a nice breakout. But this thing kind of moves like Telstra. It's not, you know, it's not, I don't think it's going to just break out and just go parabolic or anything. And if it does, then well, so be it. But I mean, look any time in its history when it has a strong 5% day, it just chills and then pops. So there's plenty of time, I think, to get in ABB for me. ALX, I'm not sure about this one. The chart was definitely interesting. So I'm just going to bring this up real quick. Yeah, just I mean, it speaks for itself, really. It's fascinating. A gap into a classic pullback and then a rally. But now the way it pulls back is just so clean looking. Again, this looks more like maybe investment material, but I'd have to look at the financials. I just thought the chart was really interesting. So might do a deeper dive in this one. And that is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Dinner has arrived. I'll catch you guys later.